Yay, I'm live. Cool. The obligatory sip of tea. Well, it's just the right temperature as well. I left it for a little bit to sort of cool down because it's a really big, it's quite a big mug. I think it holds about a pint, a UK pint, because I think a US pint is a little smaller. From what I remember of buying beer in the US, I remember asking for a pint of something and then giving me the glass, and it was distinctly smaller than a UK pint, from what I understand. Anyway, so yeah, I sometimes need to leave this a wee bit of time before the tea is drinkable, and the pottery is really thick and chunky, so it keeps it warm for quite a while. So hi Jen, hello Ishi, lovely to see you. So yes, this is a continuation of yesterday's live chat where I was looking at the differences and similarities between the a regular Smith-Waite tarot and the Halloween tarot. And to sort of make the argument that it's not just a novelty deck, that it is really well thought out. And yes, it's Smith-Waite based, and it's very readable, but it's also very, very clever and really, really fun, and obviously perfect for spooky season given the name. Hello Scott Lovely, hi Sam. So yeah, and me being me and blethering on for ages meant that I only managed to get through the majors in an hour and a half, which is, yeah, it is what it is. So, and then I asked the folks that were in the live chat, should I continue this? Do you want to see the minors? And you all said yes, because you're all crazy pants. So, okay, here we are. You ask and you shall receive. I mean, if I'm feeling up to it, obviously. I'm not going to make videos I don't want to make, generally as a rule. I try not to, unless it was something serious, I guess, where I'm like, oh, I don't want to have to make this, but I have to. I don't know. If ever such an occasion arises. Hello, Deanne, lovely. So I'm going to try and remember to drink my tea, because it's like a full mug. I don't want a full mug of tea to go to waste. And I've just realised we're really low on tea. So I meant to order some with the food delivery we had yesterday. So whoop, going to have to get some emergency tea supplies. So yes, shall we just get into it? I'm doing the ones, aka what would be called, hang on, let me just separate these two piles, the imps in the Halloween tarot, because I can't remember who it was, but someone in the live chat yesterday said, oh, I was waiting for you to get to the imps, because they said, I think it was the 7 of imps was sort of throwing them off. And I actually do have thoughts on the 7 of imps and what the artist may have been thinking about that, because the book is a bit vague on that. So hi Amanda, you ordered it last night. Oh no, I'm enabling. Oops. So yeah, I think quite a few people have this deck though, don't they? Don't you? I was going to say, don't you think it's weird that there's loads of Halloween decks and spooky decks, but not Christmas decks? But no, because people think of tarot, they think spooky, right? Ooh, fortune telling, witches, ooh, carnivals. Where I guess we don't really think that so much about Christmas. It's the same thing. Like there's so many cat tarots. But like there's like a handful, if that, of like dog tarots, because people don't associate dogs with spookiness. Cats get associated with witches and superstitions around cats and stuff like that. So I think that's why. Yes, Kelly made me do it. Oops. Where's Michelle popped in? Did someone say Michelle's come in? Meow, 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 meow. Mew, 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 mew. I don't know why I make noises when I'm looking at the what do you call it? the chat. Okay, Ishi, no worries. And Deanne is here. Oh my goodness. It's 5 a.m. and I must be lonely. Hi, Kelly. Hi. How do you folks like know that I'm live? I'm so confused, because whenever I've put set reminder on like my YouTube when I want to watch someone's live, it like the notification turns up like half an hour later, which is super useless if, you know, they've already gone live or it's like a premiere and half an hour in or whatever. Like, what's the point of that? That's stupid. As per usual, I won't be watching chat much, but I'll be listening whilst in bed. That's absolutely fine. No problems, Jen. So yes, actually another quick. I do, don't I, Jen? It's right at that. Oh, hey, Michelle. There you are. Yeah, it's always just as it's that time difference, hey. OTTGTSY. I have no get to see. Good to see you. Show my age. I'm not very on with the down with the internet acronyms. Anyway, so I will say, with regards to the pips in this deck, the Halloween Tarot, they are more of a muchness when it comes to a like for like for the original Smithwaite. It's not quite so. I feel like the majors do a bit more of its own thing. It throws in some really fun little clever bits and pieces. So there's definitely, I think that's probably why I took longer as well with the majors, because there's a bit more going on with them. This I'm hoping will be a bit quicker. You tend to be live near the start of my day, even when I'm starting early for the day. It's weird. Oh wow, that is weird. You refresh your subscription page. Oh, okay. At 5 a.m, my goodness, that's hardcore. So yeah, but as yesterday, I will again be comparing the deck to my Centennial Smithwaite deck. Hello, Robin, lovely to see you. So yeah, let's get into it, shall we? So here we go. Got to get the hang of this. This is so yeah, we've got imps for the wands, standing in for the suit of fire. And actually, do you know what? I'm going to just read the intro to the suit of imps from the little white book, because they explain why they've chosen imps, which you would hope, right? Obviously, explaining their thinking. Are they the last ones? They are the last ones. The suit of imps. I love the little and it's just cute. Look at this little pumpkin. Either I guess they're doing the reading. I like to think that they're doing the reading for their cat. The Ace of Imps. Yes, exactly, Leanne. Since the traditional tarot suit of wands is linked with the ancient element of fire, well, depending on what system you follow, the devilish scarlet imps make a delightful Halloween suit equivalent. Fire sparks the creativity that burns inside us, not just artistic ability, but the passion, vision, and labor needed to create or invent anything. In medieval times, wands represented the peasant class, and the cards are still associated with the sweat of the brow, which is interesting, because then you also do think of pentacles being like the suit of work and labor and sort of that down to earth material thing, right? The imps are a suit of energy, spirit, growth, and enterprise, reminiscent of the magician who pulls rabbits out of hats in the major arcana. If your tarot reading reveals a handful of imps, you may be pulling a few rabbits out of hats yourself. So, Deanne, I don't have this deck and I don't know why. So yeah, let's get to it. So they're explaining, the devilish, fiery little imps are representing the ones. That makes sense, right? So I'm just going to do one at a time. So yeah, it's pretty much obviously we have the Halloween Tarot is set at night time, because spooky, you need the spooky background. So that's one of the main differences you see with these two cards, is that the background color is completely different to the other, but you still get the you still get the clouds, and you get the little cat. Remember, the black cat is on this journey all the way through the deck. And what I love is, on the wand here, you've got all of these leaves attached, the growth, the baby leaves, the new leaves, shoots on the rather phallic looking, probably very deliberately shaped wand. But the imp, rather than having you know, the leaves, there's all these dry autumn leaves floating around, and it's almost like the imp is playing with them, and I really like that. And the hand is purple as well. Purple and green, two of my favorite colors. So, you know, pretty much a like for like. The imps, yeah, imps are like little demons, little creatures, little. I had to fight. Ow, oh, fuck! I had to fight an imp in my D&D game last week. We managed to destroy it. It was being a little shit and trying to climb inside my character's armor and bite me. So the two of imps is interesting, right? So obviously we have the original has kind of like colonialist leanings, because you've got someone who's clearly very wealthy, looking out on top of what appears to be a parapet. You know, surely serfs are not going to be hanging out on the top of parapets unless they're there to fight for the rich people. And this person is certainly not a soldier by any stretch. And he is looking out over the water, and he's got the world in his hands. You've got a little nod here to the roses and lilies, and he's looking out, and I think he's set something in motion. He's made a decision about something, and he's just going to wait and see what happens. But with the imps, we have this singular character here, and then we do get two sort of wands in a sense, because we get these pillars either side that are, you know, these torches sort of illuminating the area. It does still look like he's on a parapet, can you see? And we do still have the world at the bottom, so you get all those little nods to the original, which is great. Again, we've got our little cat, but he's pulling apart these two fighting imps, but he seems pretty chill about it. He almost seems like he's enjoying himself, which is interesting. And it's almost like he's trying to I don't know if he's trying to get them to fight or if he's trying to pull them apart. So it's interesting. Like, I'm never quite sure what to make of this depiction. I can see a lot more of the imagery in this larger version yet again. But I wanted to read you what the book said, because I read it and I was still like, is it though? You know, what's his chops, Thor in Ragnarok, when he goes, So hang on, that's pumpkins. No, they're right at the end. Hang on. Two of imps, a bold leader, resolving conflicts to facilitate a new enterprise, a new partnership, success. Now, it says resolving conflicts, but like, he's smiling, the guy holding them, and it's almost like he could probably maybe he is just pulling them apart, and maybe he does see them as silly little children that are just having a bit of a scrap. But he looks to be having too much of a good time to be resolving conflict. So I was like, I don't know, it works, I guess, but it does have a different feel than the original. Imp, a small mischievous devil or sprite, yes. Or waiting to see what happens, the character watching the two imps, I guess, but he is also holding them apart. Hey, Candy, lovely to see you. So who knows? It does give a slightly different feel, different read of it. So even though it is Smithwaite, like I said, it does do some of its own things, but for the most part, it is a like for like in the pips, especially when you get to the courts. The courts are presented in a really fun way. I really like some of the substitutions and decisions that they've made, but at the same time, it is pretty much straight up, you know, the depiction of the courts, but spooky, but make it spooky. So we have the three, and you know, the guy looking at his ships coming in, he's reaping the rewards of the two, the stability of the two, the decision, the partnership of the two, whatever that was, and he's now reaping whatever it is. He has 3 ones now instead of the 2. Hello, baby witch baby farmer. What is that imp holding guy? He looks like a pumpkin guy. No, maybe not a pumpkin. Just some weird creepy dude. I mean, just some vintage Halloween weirdness, right? Just what I need. A Kelly Bear Live. We have COVID in the house. No, Candy, I'm so sorry. Is that from the kids going to school? Because I keep seeing friends with kids that are just, because they've got no bloody mitigations in place, and they're not required to tell parents when there's an outbreak in their class, which is criminal in my opinion, because by law they have to tell parents if there's nits in the class, because it's a health crisis. So how is it a potentially deadly virus not a public health crisis. Don't even get me started on that. But yeah, fuck's sake, I'm so sorry, Candy. I really am. I hope that you manage to sort of get avoid anyone else catching it. But it's really, really tricky. Yeah, with kids bringing it home, and you know they've taken away all the mitigations because with the Tories, the cruelty is the point. Anyway, I'll try to not have a COVID rant today, but I'm really sorry about that, Candy. So with the 3 of imps here, again, there are wands in this. They're each holding a wand, and 2 of them, they have their torches, right? And then you've got this 3rd imp, and their torch is not a torch. It's like a branch of a tree, maybe, or a sapling, maybe, and it's got some little dry autumn leaves on it, and maybe it's looking up at this branch of leaves and it's waiting. Maybe once the leaves fall off, it'll burst into flame and become a torch. I don't know. So it's waiting for this moment, for this reaping, for this reward, maybe this reward of flame, of fire, of heat. I don't know. But again, we have our little cat, very important, and our little smiley sort of green toned moon. I love the moon in this deck. I love the sort of limey green tone that the moon has, and the face is just very sort of warm and sweet. So that's our 3s. I'm going to have to remember to take a sip of the tea. Oh, Laura's popped in. Let's have a wee look at the chat because I've only got 14 cards, so it should be quicker than yesterday, she says. 3 of Wands is for my significator card. Oh, is it, Robin? How come? Did you choose that, or is that like a numerology thing, Robin? Oh, Shona, thank you very much. I sort of, I had a lot to get done this morning, and the only way for me to like get in the zone sometimes is to get up, get showered, get dressed, put some slap on my face, and just like get some coffee in my body and just get going. So I've actually hammered my to-do list this morning, had a whole bunch of stuff to do. Actually, I should say I am waiting on an important phone call, and I was given the time frame of somewhere between this afternoon or sometime anytime during the day or working hours on Monday. So if the phone goes, I will mute my mic, potentially stop my camera. I might have to close the live depending on how long the call is. But yeah, it is an important phone call, so I will have to take it. Adulting, huh? Anyway, so yes, I was just having a quick little look through. Oh, a good moment to pop in. Site. My workplace, a university, is not releasing info on cases. I think it's criminal that they're not letting people know that there's a deadly virus. It's a failure of government, you know, entirely. It's almost, I don't understand it. It's the people want to pretend that COVID is over. We're not. It's a global pandemic. We're still in it. And a vast quantity of the entire world are not vaccinated. The rich countries are just looking after themselves at the moment. And even then, they're not doing a very good job of it. Well, some are, some aren't. Our one isn't. I'm up so early, I don't usually catch these live, says Shauna. It's lovely to see you. And Shauna started making videos. When I said, did you say your name in your videos? Do you know what? I apologise. I had got you mixed up with someone else who had started making videos. And I think because I just looked really quickly at your thumbnail and I couldn't remember who it was. So I think I was getting you mixed up with someone else. So yeah. Shauna of the 6 of Wands is making videos. She's got a couple up, a couple of tags, I believe. Brant's Tarot Collector one, and then Simon at the Hermit Cave, my bedside table. I keep going, do I want to do the bedside table one? But my God, like the fucking state of my bedside table. Do you know what? I'll just show you now if I can. That is my bedside table. Can you see the fucking state of that? I've got my bed socks down there. Underneath that, it's like a little an original mid-20th century kidney beans shaped table. There's my filing cabinet underneath with a bunch of papers on top that need to be filed, but I need to empty out of date papers from there to be able to fit that shit in there. I've got my coaster for my tea. I've got books. So I've got The Little Work, Psychic Witch, and my dream journal and a pencil. Some hand cream, that white thing cylinder is linen spray. The black topped thing is my massage oil for I get shoulder and neck pain. I have fibromyalgia, so sometimes my husband has to loosen up my neck, and it's like a de-stress mix to help loosen up my muscles to help me sleep. There's a bottle of anti-back gel because, you know, COVID. And then there's a little silver tin that I have had for about at least 20 years. And it's got, what's it got in it? It's got an Albus oil inhaler, a small bottle of Albus oil, a spare lip balm, some earplugs, and I think some painkillers, maybe some paracetamol or ibuprofen in there, just in case I have a headache in the night. That is the state of my, and it's all dusty and disgusting. And I can even see one of Nomi's one of her whiskers came off last night when we were sitting on the bed. She was having snuggles with me, and I just put it on the side. There we go. You do not need to see the fucking state of it. Even like my coaster is gross. I keep my desk really clean. There's a little Nomi whisker. There you go. Job done. I was like, I can't show this close up in this video because I'd have to like wipe the dust away and rearrange it. And I'm like, well, then that's not real. Like, I've been meaning to tidy that corner for a few weeks. Like, it doesn't always look like that, but I've been having some pretty shitty mental health issues. And sometimes it's really hard to just keep your everything together. So I've focused on keeping the kitchen and the bathroom clean and tidy because those are important, and my workspace tidy and organized. I organized this all last month, and anything else, like, I just have to let it go because I can't keep on top of everything because it's just too much with everything I've got going on top of the pandemic as well. So anyway, that turned into a side quest. Squirrel. As always. It just happens. The colours are great. What's this? I like the colours in this deck. I love the colours in this deck as well. They're great. And of course, very classic vintage Halloween-y. Should I post a link to my channel? You are a mod, so yeah, you can. If you want to post a link, that's absolutely fine. If you want to promote yourself, that is absolutely fine. It's new channels. Always go check out new channels. Candy, Salt on Soil. The schools are telling us that kids don't have to isolate. Yes, then there's that, because some government guidance says they don't have to. Some schools have chosen to not listen to that anyway. But yeah, the whole thing about you don't have to isolate and parents being fined if they don't send their kids in. There's no safeguarding of clinically vulnerable children or children with clinically vulnerable family members, which is how my nephew brought COVID home at Christmas time to my stepsister, who is a double kidney transplant recipient. Yeah, that went about as well as you thought it could go. And people are like, oh, kids' mental health being in school. It's like, do you think my nephew needed this hit to his mental health of almost killing his mum? No. Anyway, the VRs to the bed table show me your mugs are awesome. Yeah, I like seeing people's mugs. I've got a few mugs. This is my chonky. This was the one that made Simon get his blue mug because he came to stay and he's like, oh my God, this mug is amazing, because I gave him his tea in this. I was like, isn't it though? It's a hand thrown from a potter somewhere down on the south coast of England, I believe. Got it on Etsy from it was a present from my sister-in-law, but I picked it and she bought it for me for a birthday a few years ago. I do love a good mug, and I like to have different sizes of mugs depending on what I'm drinking and what mood I'm in. So sometimes I just need a vat of tea, like just, oh. My biggest mug is the big bear head called my Antoine. I call him Antoine. That's the biggest one. That holds over a pint of tea. It's amazing. But if I drink that during this, I'm going to be pissing like a racehorse. So we need a separate bedside table video. No, Leanne, seriously, honestly, it's a mess at the moment. Maybe once I've had the time to give the rest of the room a clean up, but oh my God, it's like half the room is fine, half the room is a fucking pit. Hi, Rona, lovely to see you. I'd just love to show what is in my bedside table. Nothing in it because of our jungle cat. Oh no. Oh, is the bedside table tag? I haven't done it because mine would be boring. Here's my Kleenex, Kindle, alarm clock, water, and a pen. Yeah, mine's like the books that I'm currently, like, I've usually got 6 ways on there, but if 6 ways is not on my bedside table, it's down on by my altar because I refer to it all the time. And then so I've been working through the exercises in Psychic Witch, and I leave it on my bed because if I'm doing like visualization and sort of meditation and stuff, I like to do it sitting or laying on my bed. So it makes sense to have it right there. And then I'm currently reading The Little Work very slowly. I've got back on it recently. Oh, and actually I have the True Heart Tarot guidebook as well, because I was reading through that at one point. I'm sort of almost finished. So yeah, there's The Little Work. So I've been reading that. And then obviously my dream journal, because I need it right by my bed. Yeah, and then it's just boring things that I need, like lip balm, Albus oil inhaler, hand cream. Oh, there's hand cream. Yeah, the Weleda hand skin food is there as well, that green thing. Massage oils, linen spray. The massage oil makes it sound sexier than it is, if only, right? Anti-back spray, linen spray, all that stuff. Oh, dear. Meow. Anyway, I was meant to be doing a comparison video. Can I ever stay on task? No, probably not ever. When I'm working, like when I'm on like a makeup job, I like go into like hyper focus to the point where like I'm in the zone. But if I'm just sort of not doing anything else, if it's not like I have to be doing, I'm like being paid to do something, I don't have the discipline and mental discipline. I wonder if there's stats on which side of the bed which partners choose. My husband wanted to have the side closest to the door because he said if an intruder comes in, hopefully they'd attack him first. Even though out of the two of us, I'm the scrapper. He's the lover, I'm the fighter. And I'm the one that had formal did taekwondo for several years. So I'm the one that's more likely to fucking lamp someone. But he insisted, so you know it's fine. It doesn't bother me. Hopefully, it would never come to that. You never know. Oh yeah, you've got Tilly in the house who's been shielding, of course. Yeah, shielding. It's not fun. It's quite boring. Have a thought for those of you able-bodied folk. Have a thought for your chronically ill and or disabled pals. We're not okay. Don't worry if the bedside table is boring, just film it and participate, I say. Yeah, people always like just having a little nose at people's houses and things, what their bedtime routines are like and stuff. I just bought a couple of wooden mugs after watching Gerald and Chris's Magical Tours. Oh, I've not seen that yet. I need to check that out. It looks good. Ah, the Chariot. Hello, lovely to see you. Yeah, you're in a loving space, Candyworth. You can offload all you need. Safe space. What do you think of The Little Work? I was thinking of getting it. I like some of it. Some of it I'm not so sure about. I think that might be due to my negative experiences with things like CBT. Because the guy that wrote it, Durgadas Alan Duriel, is also a psychiatrist, a clinical social worker, and he does stuff. Okay, just hang on, let's just do something. There we go. So yeah, I'm how far am I? I'm like this, I'm over halfway now. It's surprisingly like heavy, like it's quite a lot to get through. I'm enjoying this section that looks at each element individually. I find he can be a little prescriptive when it comes to setting up daily practices. This is why I'm spoiled by Aidan Wachter, who, with that 6 Ways book that I mention all the time, he really strips everything back to sort of bare bones, and there's no specific framework for any kind of belief system or any kind of system like Hermetic system or Kabbalist. Like there's nothing. It's just bare bones straight to the point, and I really like that. And then I find that even though people like this guy Durgadas Alanduriel or even Jason Miller to a certain extent are trying to be non-prescriptive, they kind of are, because there's like the he talks about the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram in here and why you should do it, but that's anchored in a framework, right? So for me, it's the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, the LB RP. I can never say it quickly. Or if you're doing Resh or whatever, like, to me that doesn't jive with me. And I think because I've never really been into ceremonial stuff, and that's why. Anyway, this is turning into a book review. I won't really know completely what I think about it until I finished it. It's probably worth reading. I will probably take stuff from it. I don't think I'll take everything wholesale. 6 Ways is probably one of the only books where I've read the whole book and been like, all of this makes sense to me. And even Aidan himself is like, take what works, leave the rest, adapt as you like. This is just a bare bones framework. It really is. I cannot, like, if anyone says I want to get into magic and I don't know where to start, not witchcraft, not a specific kind of framework, you know, not like a specific tradition, I just want to learn to get into magic without any bells and whistles or anything confusing, I would recommend 6 Ways by Aidan Wachter, and then also Psychic Witch by Matt Oren, if you want to develop this brain stuff, you know, like your meditation skills and your visualization and stuff. Wow, again, we're now 10-15 minutes off track. I'm so sorry, folks. My bedside table is my card reading table. That's interesting, Leanne. How big is your bedside table, though? Because mine is super tiny, and it's just, you know, I wouldn't be able to really put cards on it. Oh, Robin, do you know what, though? It probably made for an interesting video. Warts and all. Yeah, see, that's what I'm like. The state of my bedside cab and my bedside table at the moment, you know, it's desk size. Well, that's a bed size. That's a bedside desk, not a bedside table. Whoa, that's impressive. That makes sense, I guess. You can fit probably fit plenty of cards on a desk. So I think I'm up to date with all the chat. So anyway, I'm going to put my little lid on my tea so it doesn't go any cold, doesn't get too cold. Anyway, so we were looking at cards, apparently. I'm like, this will be quick. It's only 14 cards. Famous last words. Okay, so we have the hang on, you go there. No, we have the 4 of Wands. We have these 2 characters shaking what I always like to think are pom-poms, but clearly are meant to be like flowers or something. And this lovely bouquet, this lovely bough, this garland of lush, sumptuous roses and goodness knows what else. Ready to have a party, ready to rock and roll. And this huge castle in the background, so they're probably quite fancy. I really like the 4 in this one. Oh, thank you, Deanne. So we have the 4 Wands as the original card. We've got a little cat down there, and we have 4 imps. The garland has little pumpkins in it. The moon is looking a little sleepy, which is adorable. Instead of the castle, we have just what appears to be like some sort of cliff or rocks or something in the background. But these imps are like ready to dance. Can you see? They look like they're ready to, everybody, do-si-do. Can you see? So they're just having a great time, and the cat is there to trip them up probably. So it's very much much a muchness. It's very, very similar to the original, but it's extra cute because pumpkins and stuff. Oh dear, my Halloween Taro is coming out now. Oh my goodness. Hello, Aline, Eugenie, how excited. Yeah, pom-poms, let's celebrate. Whoop whoop. Give me a W, give me an A, give me an N, give me a D, give me an S, Wands. So again, the 5 of Wands is very similar to the original. Again, little kitty cat. I'm going to call it Lucy just because it looks like Lucy from Disenchantment, the cartoon. The moon is looking a little judgy because the moon is like, are they really fighting? But I always think that the 5 of Wands, they're not having a proper Barney, are they? They're just sort of like play fighting in my mind. They're just sort of having a bit of a tussle. But yeah, they're kind of, I mean, if you look at the faces, I don't know if how well it's going to show. Probably not very well. Damn this camera. But like a couple of them, one looks a little apprehensive. This one looks actively annoyed, and then like a couple of them look a little amused. So, and I love that. Look at the cat's hackles are up. It's like his back is all, his fur is all fuzzy up on its back, and it's all arched. So that's a nice little touch. The cat is always sort of reacting or interacting with the scene, which is fun. It's not just, oh, there's a cat hidden. The cat is sort of part of the story of the deck, which is really, really fun. So Robin saying he might have to get this deck. Mine used to be like, I got a 4 cube unit to put them in instead. Oh, what was that, like a Kallax, an IKEA Kallax? I've got an IKEA Kallax underneath my desk, an 8 cubicle one, so it's 2 rows high and 4 rows long. Should I get the full size or pocket size? I would say if you was only getting one, I'd say get the full size, because I've had the pocket one for a few years and I am noticing stuff in the bigger one that I didn't show up as well on the small one, which is obviously it's smaller. So, but I do love the small one. Do you want to see the small one? Just for comparison, just you can. I mean, I trimmed the edges off of mine. Oh, Robin, it's my little Normand. So I made my little pouch for it. Obsessed. It's actually more of a it looks quite like a blue purple, but it's more of a reddish toned purple and neon thing. But yeah, it's exactly the same. So you can see. But there's like some little details that are like written in, or just like little things which when you're just sort of looking at a small card you might not necessarily notice unless you've got the magnifying card out. But yeah, I trimmed mine and left the edges square, which I like. It works for me, and it still shuffles really well even though it's small. So I just managed to, I can riffle and bridge this one because I've had it for quite a while, so it's sort of quite supple. Supple cardstock. She says that she puts cards on her boobs. Okay. Massage oil, supple cardstock. It's all go around here on a Friday afternoon. Sorry, I'm just like riffle shuffling because it feels nice. Sorry. Distracting. I'm meant to be doing something. Ow, fuck. I just bashed my knee on the aforementioned calyx. And it's my bad knee. It's my right knee, which I have problems with. It makes really gross, crunchy noises. Oh, the border on the well, it's got no border, and then it looks reddish probably, but it's actually orange. It's similar. It's slightly darker orange than the title borders. Ow. Whose birthday is it? Deanne. Oh, it's your birthday next week, Deanne. Which day is your birthday? And happy birthday for next week. Still waiting for your bloody... Was that the deck you were talking about yesterday, Robin? Waiting on it. So I'm just reading the comments. Natalie, hello. Friday night here in South Australia. Oh my God, it's already the weekend for you, Natalie. You lucky sausage. And Rona says that she has a black cat called Louie. Cool. So, and then you're having thunder. That's perfectly timed atmosphere-wise for a Halloween Tarot, isn't it? You've got the darkness, you've got the thunder. You've got the excitement of it being the weekend. September 24th. Oh, so it's a week today. well, happy birthday for a week today, Deanne. So yeah, oh man, I can smell someone's cooking curry and it smells so good. Oh my god. Anyway, so 6 of Wands. Again, you have the 6 wands, but then you also have the imps. Sometimes the imps take the place of the wands. Sometimes you have the imps as well as the wands. Just go with it. But what I love is they're on the horse. The horse has got the thing. But look at the horse. Look, I don't know if you can really see. Like in this one, the horse is like chomping on something. It's got like leaves or something in its mouth, and it's like nom nom nom. Either that, or it's because it's green. Or either that, or it's a bunch of like dollar bills or something. And it's eating money. I doubt it. I think it looks like leaves. Maybe it's eating the laurel leaves. Can horses eat that, or is that poisonous? I don't know. But we all know this image. And then with this one, the wands again, they're torches. So it seems like the people that are walking somewhere behind them have torches. Maybe we can't see any other people there. But what I like is that all of these imps are all sat on the back of this horse, and they all look really, really happy because they're celebrating something. They've been victorious in something. And the cat, one of them is holding the cat, one of them's holding little Lucy. And I love that the horse looks kind of pissed off. You can see its teeth. It's going like this. And it's got like an orangey eye, like an orangey red eye. Demon horse. So it's the 6 of Wands, but kind of funny. But make it Halloween. So you like sharp corners. I love my corner rounder. I don't mind sharp corners. I tend to leave sharp corners on any Marseille or pip decks that I trim, Robin, purely because I'm a traditionalist in that sense, and I like it to feel like a Marseille or a pip deck. A lot of my reproduction pips and Marseilles, like my a lot. I only have a few. Like my Jean de Blay by Jean-Claude Flambois. That comes with like the sharp corners, and I leave it like that. What was the other deck that I had that came with sharp corners? There's another Marseille that I have that came with sharp corners, so that I associate that with Marseille decks. But the reason I specifically didn't corner around this one is that I didn't like that it would eat into the white edge, the white border, and I didn't want to lose the full stars. So I just left it, and actually it's fine. It works fine, and actually it's a Halloween tarot, so it needs to be a little spikier, right? Have a little bite to it. The 7 of Wands. This was someone who was in the chat yesterday. We were asking about the 7 of Wands. I can't remember who it was, so I don't know if they're here today. But I can see why they would be interested to know, what the thinking is behind this. So obviously in the original, you have this person here. They are up high. They're defending themselves, and you can see all these other sticks. I mean, in my head, I always like to think that this is the people that were holding the sticks in the 6 of Wands that were celebrating and going, yay, yay. And now they've like they've like turned, how people can like spin on a dime and like turn on people, and now they're like having a pop at this guy instead because they've had enough of him. And he's defending himself. And in the Halloween tarot, you see 7 imps. You got the 7th one just here. You can almost miss him if you're like, and he's looking at the cat. They're looking at each other. They're eyeballing each other. And they are walking around. You can see this house or castle. I guess it's like a haunted looking house. The moon's looking pretty cheery and happy. And they are walking around, and I'm taking the one at the front is pointing up at the house. Only one of them has a wand or a stick or a staff. And it looks like this is where they're heading. I don't think this is where they live. It seems to be they're going to be going to cause mischief because they're imps. But if you're looking, you can see there's this one person here, and they've got a human face, or the way humans have been depicted in this deck at least. And it appears that they are not actually an imp. They are wearing an imp suit, right? they're in disguise, which is very Halloween, because the reason people dress up and play trick or treat, well, the way it was, my understanding of how it originated was that from my nan who's Irish, that you wanted to, it was a belief that all the, you know, the demons and devils would be out on, you know, on that night, and you would need to disguise yourself as one of these creatures so as to avoid being sort of having mischief or trouble caused by them, because they'd think you were one of them, right? So that ties in with the original idea of trick or treat. Maybe they're going to trick or treat this house, but I feel like it's mostly going to be just trick with these folk, these little imps. And this is why I get so frustrated. No offense, Americans, but when you do Halloween, you're like, oh, I'm a ketchup bottle. Oh, I'm a cow. Oh, I'm a whatever. Like, it seems from what I've seen from friends in the States that dress up for Halloween, films I've seen, you know, that TV shows that I've seen, people in the States, I don't know if this applies to Canada as well, will dress up as like just any random thing as long as it's a costume, right? And I'm like, no, because the point of Halloween was you needed to dress up as something demonic or spooky or weird or creepy, because you had to trick the other creatures of the night that you were one of them. An imp singing, I mean, it's probably quite alarming seeing a giant walking ketchup bottle. I imagine it would be quite confusing. Don't know if they'd think you were evil. Probably, I don't know. It's a bit strange. It's always just confused me. Also, why would you give up the chance to dress in something fucking spooky and creepy and like get on with some like fake blood or like, just, I don't understand. I guess some people don't like creepy stuff. So in the UK, people dress up as creepy stuff. In my experience, at Halloween parties and when I was a kid, we always dressed up as creepy stuff, right? What's the same in Canada, Shauna? Do you dress up as anything, or you only dress up as spooky? Is that why you've got the ghost? And I have an Irish friend who had to go at me last year because I had this rant, or was it the year before, because it was pre-Panini, and she said, oh no, but the tradition in Ireland was that you would dress up to disguise yourself to hide to hide from the demons. And I'm like, yeah, you dressed as one of the creepy things to trick the creepy things. And a really good example of this is in the film Hocus Pocus, because the three witches, the Sanderson sisters, they come out and they see all these kids running around in these spooky costumes like aliens and astronauts and the witches and devils and pumpkins and all sorts of stuff. And they're like, oh my goodness, look at all these little demons. And they finally realize that they are children, and they realize that children, and they even say, oh, it seems that children dress up to trick us and run amok and blah, blah, blah. It's become a day of gaiety and whatever it says. I can't remember. I haven't watched it this year. Yeah, I usually watch it around October. I save it for, there are Jesus pumpkins. What's this? Jesus pumpkins. That's not right, Leanne. Jesus pumpkins? I've mixed something. Oh, Canada, any random costume goes as well. Oh no, Laura, we can't be having that. Let's reclaim Halloween for the spookiness. Just like, let's just have one full-on spooky like holiday a year. Let's just go balls to the wall and just embrace it, people. Like, I've seen people dressed up as like popcorn, like a bucket of popcorn. I'm like, really? I mean, maybe some people have nightmares about popcorn. I know I get popcorn sometimes like stuck in my throat, and I've like choked on popcorn. That's quite scary. Don't know how scary it would be to an imp or a demon though. Anyway, this is a whole other like, what even am I going on about? Oh, we were talking about this. Okay, yeah, right, okay. Squirrel. So I feel like, you know, in this guy is defending himself. He's trying to keep himself safe. He's trying to battle these people to keep them away from him. Whereas I feel like this guy is like going incognito to keep himself safe. Like the people of yesterday, well, not literally yesterday, of yesteryear, of whenever, back in the day, where they would, you know, dress up to protect themselves. So it is a defense mechanism, right? So it works. And that is what I think is the meaning behind this card. I got there in the end, folks. Anyway, we still have 7 more cards to go. Are you bored yet? Hang on, what are the Jesus pumpkins? I'm confused. I am for everything Halloween and Samhain. I'm against Jesus pumpkins. That's about all. I am so confused. What the fuck are Jesus pumpkins? In Canada, you wear a a torque and huge coat and freeze your buns off. I don't know what that was. That was obviously a mistyping. People are asking about the Jesus pumpkins. I'm so confused. Do people carve Jesus into the pumpkins? Because as someone who comes from like the Irish side of my family, are Catholic, I can kind of get down with that, like blending, like, or maybe having like Mother Mary like carved into a pumpkin, make it like super kitsch. But if it's like meant to be serious, that's weird. I own Pinterest board and found it on Pinterest while compiling pins. As a kid, every costume had to accommodate very warm coat and pants. This is actually in the UK. It can sometimes be pretty cold during the sort of October. Not always. It's definitely gotten warmer during the autumn as climate change fucks our planet up. But yeah, I remember sometimes like getting really upset that I would put like this costume on, whatever my mum could cobble together, and then I'd have to put my coat on. But luckily, if I had like a bin bag cape, I could at least put my coat on and then tie the bin bag cape around over the top of my coat. So I still have a cloak to this day. Like, hey, Goon, lovely to see you. Oh my goodness. Oh, so lovely to see you. A toque is a winter hat. A toque. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, Liam. Everyone's like confused about the Jesus pumpkins. We are all confused about Jesus. Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean. I'm going to change it. I just keep. No, I just didn't. I forget that it's there. Honestly. Ahoy, mateys. I liked, what's this? Warm puffy jacket. What was that? Warm puffy jacket. Ninja Turtles. Oh wow, that's so cool. I wish I could have gone as a Ninja Turtle. I love the Ninja Turtles as well as a kid. But yeah, I still have a cape to this day that I wear in the winter because, and it's black, obviously. It's like not like a cloak. I should make myself a cloak, but like a tailored cape, sort of, that comes to maybe about mid-thigh, and it has the little slits for the arm, and I feel very fancy in it. And actually the doctor's bag that I mentioned yesterday, I will often have my doctor's bag with that. I feel very, all I need is a plague mask for this going out and about wherever I'm going for this winter. Plague mask, cape, doctor's bag. I swear to God, if they made a P100, like it's a type of mask, in the shape of a plague mask, I would buy that in a heartbeat. How cool would that be? And then it would work with my aesthetic and also probably scare people away, which is perfect because I want people to stay away from me at the moment. Search Jesus pumpkins if you have a strong stomach. Shall I do it and put the link in the thing? Jesus pumpkins. Yeah. Oh my God. No. I need skills to do that. I'm just going to go image. I'm just going to give you the link to my image search. Oh, wow. Can't find a plague mask that fits. Yeah, it's not so much about having a plague mask that fits. I need a plague mask that actually filters. I'm saying that I could wear my KN95 and then maybe put the plague mask over the top, but then I'd be worried that I'd struggle to breathe because the KN95 is like really good at filtering. So I just did. I don't see the connection between Jesus and jack-o'-lanterns. I guess, if you're Christian, and I guess you want to get involved in Halloween and maybe not realizing its roots. People in Ireland celebrate it, and Ireland's a very Catholic country, Like, I spookify my Christmas. I will put like some spooky things on the tree. I will watch, ghost stories at Christmas is a tradition, right? Hence, A Christmas Carol, which is essentially a moralistic ghost story. But ghost stories were very, very, like, spooky stuff during Christmas was very, very popular, especially during the Victorian era. It seems to have fallen away and become very sort of happy, cheery, woo, everything is shiny and sparkly. But actually, growing up in London and having kind of like a traditional sort of English upbringing in that sense at Christmas time, it got into the later 80s and into the 90s. Christmas began to seem a bit more woo woo. But from what I remember as a kid, Christmas could be a kind of a bit of a spooky time of year as well. And I would end up watching my favourite films as a kid, which are quite spooky, like The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth and The Last Unicorn and Legend and Krull. And oh my God, kids had like the best films. Goonies, the best stuff. The best stuff. Kids don't get traumatizing films anymore. They're all too cute and sweet. Krampus, yes, Krampus, exactly right. Thank you, Robin. Krampus. I mean, that's scary enough as it is. So yes, I think us folk over here in Europe have a bit more of a spookier leaning at Christmas as well. I am aspiring to an all horror October reading list. Wow, that's really cool, Laura. There's one with a carved face and words that say "kill me" on it. I feel like the artist missed the mark there on the message. Wow, that is a lot. I mean, religion can be a pretty scary prospect sometimes, says Robin. So yeah, anyway, so nearly an hour in and we have only looked at half the cards. Let's try and speed this up because I'm going to need to do some Lunchables. We have the 8 of Wands and the 8 of Imps, and this is kind of pretty self-explanatory. You've got 8 imps flying around in the sky, and they're all well, not all of them, but most of them are sorry, I keep squeaking my elbow on the desk. A bunch of them are holding arrows, all the better to prod you in the bum with, I'm sure. So that's pretty standard. And again, we have 9 imps and 9 wands. And in the original, it's very like world weary, browbeaten, still sort of sticking up for yourself. Last push of the fight, the last stand, almost there. With the Halloween tarot, we've got our little kitty cat sneaking in the corner there. We have an imp ready with a pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern sort of basket, bowl, tub, I don't know what you'd call it. And I don't know, he's off to do some trick-or-treating, I guess, which I guess could be the last stand to try and get some sweets or candy, I guess, as you call it, stateside. And Canada, do Canadians say sweets or candy? But my favourite one is this one in the middle that almost looks like they're pole dancing, and this one here that almost looks like they're pole dancing. Like those two are like really feeling it. They're really into the ones. The rest are just sort of standing there holding the ones, or like just holding on to them. But this one and this one, I mean, come on, work it. Yeah. I say candy, no one here says sweets. Is that Canada, Leanne, if I remember? Does it feel wrong to use these kinds of decks beyond Halloween? I like wearing white after Labor Day. Oh my God, now I'm thinking of What's Her Chops in that film. Is it What's Her Chops? Simple Shepherd? Is it? I can't remember. The one about she loses her mind about someone wearing white shoes after Labor Day or something. I can't remember what the film is. But that always sticks in my head. I would say no, and I've actually said when I brought out my spooky decks, I tend to hang on to a bunch of my spooky decks, some of them until the end of winter, like the dark season, because it's dark and spooky, and Christmas is kind of spooky. So, and I'm kind of a little spooky all year round. So for me, it makes sense to use them. Although once the warmer weather comes, I do put them away, and that is purely because I get such a buzz of it getting to autumn and getting them out again. There's that joy, that ritual of going, oh, it's spooky season, let's get the spooky decks out. But and if I feel like using one of these spooky decks that I own at any other time of the year, which does happen, I'll just get it out of the box and just use it for a reading. So that's I'm looking over at my box with my spooky decks in, but that happens more so. Well, I used the Taro del Toro until the beginning of spring because I got that last November, and the Bohemian Gothic, which has just a general, it's not just super Halloweeny, but just kind of dark and fun. So nice for like dark readings. I don't know. I grew up hearing sweets, but also have English immigrant family. Oh, okay. I think most Canadians say candy. White shorts until November 1st, Toadstool Taro. I'm a crime against fashion. So yeah, do you know what? There are no rules. If you want to use your spooky decks all year round, use your spooky decks. Like, the tarot police are not going to come and get you. I mean, they might try, but fuck them. 2 Halloweens and 2 Xmas. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. I don't have any actual Halloween decks, but I use my spooky decks all year round. Yeah, see, that's what I mean, Laura. Laura's explained it better than me. So, like, my Halloween tarot is more something I pull out at spooky season, whereas a spooky deck that is not themed Halloween, like the Tarot del Toro. I keep pointing at my fucking tarot trolley where they are. Sorry, you can't see them. Or the Bohemian Gothic. They're just kind of, they're not specifically Halloween. But but I have used the Halloween tarot not during spooky season before. Not often, but I have. 10 of wands. Let's get this done. So this is pretty self-explanatory. We have 10 wands in this one, carrying 10 wands. 10 wands in this are the imps, because that's what they're represented. And as you can see, he is this guy, this Igor type character has dropped one of them because he is carrying more than he can handle. And our little kitty cat looks like he's just about to swipe it and nick off with it. He's like, yeah, I'm going to take that. But I love it because they're like clearly imp like dolls or statuettes. And they're really cute. I want one. And he's dropped one. So it might, I mean, it's landing on what appears to be grass. So I'm hoping it won't break. But yeah, maybe the cat tripped him up and caused him to drop one. Who knows? But it's fun. I only have the Trick or Tarot Halloween deck. Oh, is that by that one guy over at Soup with the deck that he finally pulled because it was awful? Yeah. I can't bring myself to thingy anything with that guy. Yeah, in it, but I know it's notorious because the deck creator has a reputation as a dickhead. It's understatement. I think I'd go so as far as to be kind of racist. So not kind of, very actively, basically telling the black people in our community that his Gollywog Oracle was fine and that they were just being sensitive. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? The gall. At least he's taken it off sale as far as I know. I bet you if you messaged him privately and asked about the deck, he'd sell it to you, though. I get that feeling from him. What is the best candy? Chocolate triggers migraine, so I love rockets. Candy rolls the best. I have no idea what that is. There's going to be a massive, like, cultural divide there, I think. Now we're down to the last 4 cards. We're down to the court cards. They are basically just very much a muchness. They're just fun. They're just fun. So we can see, I'll just show them one at a time. So we all know Page of Wands. He always looks a little hoity to me. He looks like he's going, like this. But we have a very similar, can you see, almost exact pose. But this one's got a little demon on its back or on him, behind him, and his little kitty cat. We've got pyramids, interestingly, in the background. And I guess what would maybe be, he's walking through water. And he's got little ghosts on his shoes, which I've never really noticed before, again, in the small ones. See these little touches that I'm noticing now that I've got the bigger version. And he's still got the salamanders like the original. So you get the definite nods. Oh, no, oh my God. There are pyramids in the background of this one. I've always just thought of them as like little hills. They look more like actual pyramids here. That's interesting. I hadn't ever really made that connection, although they are in a sandy environment, but we've got sort of more green, sort of almost marshy here, although Egypt had used to be, very lush. So yeah, very, very sort of what you would expect for a page. I do like the knight because his horse is like snorting steam, or it's like really got a gallop on. It's rearing up just like the original again, and instead of holding the wand, we have the imp flying whee over by his shoulder. And again, as you can see, the representation of the salamander, and almost like, can you see even the way that the clothing flows? It's almost exactly the same shape, which is really cool. This here, we've got more sort of green looking hills or mountains. And this one, see, this one looked more like pyramids to me in this card, but I'd never made the association with the page. I don't know why. Probably because I am a silly. I'm not always particularly observant. I love the little cat just looking up in the corner though. Cute. We have the Queen of Wands, and yeah, it's very, very queeny. We've got the cat front and center like the original. We've got the sunflower, but in the Halloween tarot, the sunflower is being handed to her, being proffered to her by the imp, but she is also holding, she is holding a wand. Again, it's a flaming torch. I really like that they're flaming torches in this. And then you do still get the lion heads and the pyramids in the background of this, but we do get a pumpkin in the corner of this one. No moon this time, but there's no sun in this one, so that makes sense. And I really love her purple robes in this one. So yeah, it's very similar, just slightly tweaked. And then again, the same for the king. So we have, although we have the cat playing with the salamander. I'm a bit worried for the salamander in the Halloween tarot. And again, the king is holding a torch, a wand, but he's got another one being held. Oh God, it's throwing me off. He's got another one being held by his little imp there. Like his imp is maybe his little sort of assistant, his little minion. And we still get, like, we've got the lion, just like we have the lions on the back here. So again, it's very, very much a muchness. But I do like, if you see here, he's got some sort of fancy necklace, like mayors in the UK. They always have these big fancy ceremonial necklace things. I can't remember what they're called officially. But he's got like a bat instead. And he's got like a flamey crown, which is very cool. So yeah, that is the suit of wands. This was way longer than I thought it was going to be, but I mean, that's pretty par for the course at this point, I guess. So yeah, 1 suit down, 3 to go. What are people thinking about this deck? Are you enjoying it? Are you finding it just a bit, you don't think you'd use it, it's not worth it just for Halloween? Or are you like loving it? Yeah, I'm interested to know what Laura has on the spooky season reading list, but I'm sure you're going to share it with us though, Laura, right? And do you think it's worth having the big book for this deck? I don't have it, so I don't know. But if anyone else in the chat has it, or if anyone watching this back has it, maybe mention it in the comments whether it's worth it. Yeah, so Shauna says she loves this deck. It's so cute. It is so cute. It's cute and it's fun and it's clever. The colors are just yummy. The artwork's great. I mean, the cardstock for it, it's US Games. It's good cardstock. It riffle shuffles really nicely. I'm not going to riffle shuffle it because it's all divided up into piles at the moment. Hey, Heather, you're right. Heather's loving it. Lots of people loving it. They look like the originals were done in watercolor. Yes, I can see what you mean about like how some of the coloration looks a little watercolory, but I can't see the texture of the watercolor paper. And then some of the colors are really opaque, so I don't know if it was done in watercolor and then digitally, amended, altered. I don't know. I need to get me more candy corn before Halloween. Do you know what? I have never had candy corn, but I would love to try it. It seems to be like a real divider. People seem to really like it or really hate it, a bit like Marmite. So Laura says, I've got The Good House by Tana Nariva Due. Oh my god, I'm probably murdering that. I'm so sorry. I've not heard of that author before. Summer Suns by Lee Mandelo. Mapping the Interior by Stephen Graham Jones. Cool. I need to view a full deck walkthrough before I push the buy button. Yeah, I'm sure that there's like a bunch of them up on YouTube already, so definitely worth checking out. Even just like the quick flip throughs where no one speaks. Sometimes it's good if you just want to have a quick gander at the cards. because obviously when I do walkthroughs, I chat bollocks through all of them. If I connected with it, I would read with it all year round. I do know a couple of people that read with it IRL, like not on TaroTube, that have read with this like all year round. A friend of mine, she uses this, and she uses the Housewives Tarot all year round. Those are her two like go-to decks, which is interesting. I don't think we get candy corn here. I've enjoyed seeing this deck. I'm not one for themed decks usually, but it's charming and fun. It is indeed. The Eight of Ghosts is so sad in this deck. I know the Eight of Ghosts is quite sad. So actually, funnily enough, lined up on my stack is the Cups next, which will be the Ghosts. So the next video I do, I don't know when that will be the Ghosts, because I'm just going in the order that I've got it stacked. I did the Imps first because someone mentioned that they were looking forward to the Imps. So anyway, I need to go do some food. I'm really hungry again. But oh, long hair, skinny eyed toes just popped in. I'm just about to sign off, my dear, but thank you for popping in. So yeah, I am going to go eat something, and yeah, maybe make myself another cup of tea. And thank you so much for joining me on this long rambly video once again. Yeah, like I said, I don't know when my next one will be. Whenever I feel the urge, I guess, or I have the time. I would like to say Monday, but again, I will be waiting. If I haven't had the important phone call today, it's more likely to obviously happen on Monday. And if it doesn't happen on Monday, I'm going to have to make more phone calls because I've not received the phone call. It's a whole thing. The NHS is so fucked already, and COVID is not helping. So yeah, have a yummy snack. Yeah, I'm probably going to make myself another cheese toasty, because that's like my thing at the moment. Cheese toasty with like smoked chipotle paste. Yum yum yum. 'Twas fun. Good luck on your call. Thank you. Well, it's someone calling me, so we'll see what happens if it arrives today. Ugh, adulting stuff. It just I just hate it. But yeah, I hope you all have, if I don't do a live over the weekend, I hope you'll have a lovely weekend, whatever you're getting up to. Stay safe, wear a mask, get your shot, look after, if you can, obviously with the caveat if it's safe for you to do so. Look after yourselves and those around you, and I will see you in the next one. You all take care.